Well, good evening, everyone. I want to thank you for showing up. It's Sunday, the 29th of July. We've almost lost another month. My goodness, where has it gone? Oh, my. Oh, the Beagle. Oh, big time Beagle. Howling. Yeah. And let's get a sight and sound check, please, before I get started. Making sure we're okay. And I do have the recorder on, Gwen. Thank you. Thanks, Walter. Thanks, Ed. And again, thanks, everybody, for being here. All right. Disclaimer, you can lose money if you trade. This is a little bit about me. You can find out more about me at the StockTwits or the YouTube channel. And that's what we're going to go over again tonight. The economic calendar, the earnings, and we're in the height of earnings season right now. A little bit of market overview. I've got some trade ideas and some Q&A and to look at some of your stocks, time permitting. Economic calendar on, oh, dude, I didn't change it. Oh dear. I've got it up and running though. Here we go. Monday the 30th. Got pending home sales at 10. Dallas Fed at 10:30. The biggie for the week is down here on Wednesday at 2 p.m. We've got the FOMC meeting announcement. And the FOMC begins on Tuesday the 31st, obviously, and they come out. And they present that. So that could be a little bit of volatility out there in the markets. And there's the earnings calendar, and I defy anyone to be able to read that. It's so large. Let's go. The earnings. I'll go ahead and post this out there for you. Hi, Claude. And you can go look at the earnings yourself. I have them filtered out. I'm going to go ahead and post them by the end of the night. And I will post out the PDF file with the filtered ones that basically have 485,000. They're kind of tradable stocks at the moment. All right. Zoom on over to back into the market overview. Pressing on out. The US dollar in this range from about 94 to 95 and a half. Stochastic RSI curling up from the bottom. I'd love to see it go up towards 95 and a half so I can buy some pounds at a good rate. Crude oil. Looks a little toppy here. It got up to the $70 level and it looks like it's backing off a bit. The volume point of control for crude is around $68.25, somewhere around there. Gold, we're pretty much flat here. I'd like for it to go sideways for a while and then it can go south so we can get a good short there. If it goes up from here, we're going to be probably where we won't be able to take any decent short. US 10-year 2.96 looks like it's kind of iffy as to which way it goes at the moment. That's awfully early on what was it? That was Friday. We'll have to see where it opens up on Monday. All right. Let's go over to the S&P. We closed very weak on all the markets here on Friday. We're probably pulling back to at least, what level is that? 2800-ish and potentially 2780 area. So I don't know that I'd be overly anxious to go long on a lot of stocks at the moment. NASDAQ pulled back really hard, and its volume point of control is way down here. I don't think that's going to happen, but 72 and a quarter, 72.25 is definitely within reach, within eyesight. If it breaks through that, we could drop quite a bit. Russell, down one. It lost its volume point of control on Friday and dropped down to kind of in midpoint level. There is a little bit here at 1653, and then a little bit of volume again at around 1630. So let's keep an eye on that one. The 1630 could definitely be in play. YM, Dow, holding up better than most, but give it time. We could be pulling back to 25,100, and we'll see what happens when we get there. Transports on Friday, dark cloud cover would lead follow through to the downside for that to come to fruition. First level is around 195.60, and then we've got a couple other pockets with the lowest one being about 193.75. The VIX on Friday, we got elevated a bit. I would expect it to be elevated a little bit more once we open up the trading tomorrow on Monday. All right, let's I have some trade ideas here. Some of them are watch list items. Some of them are potential entries if they go higher. And let me highlight this. You can go to that. That's a link over to FinViz, and it has all the charts and for us there. Let's go through the list here. Avery, it looks like it might get up to 120 if it can get back over, 114 and 116. I'm really kind of looking for anything over about 114 and a half. And Qualcomm reported earnings, also reported that it was backing off on a deal for, I think it was, we've got to acquire somebody, NXPI or something like that, and it went up big time. I see the possibility, I spy with my little eye $67. Stochastics RSI curling up. We get up over, this is about 63.75, 63.80 on Monday. I'm going to jump into some options. Xilinx over about 74.75. I think it goes back up to 78. Right now it kind of paused right there at 74.75. UPS, huge move on earnings on Wednesday. Then Thursday, Friday, we held here. As long as it holds above there when it gets back up, probably more like this area right in here, 120 and change, I would be tempted to go long. National Oilwell Varco, NOV. It looks like a breakout to new all-time highs. As it broke through this 45.50 area, it went up over $1.50 more. I'm looking like a possible 45-degree incline up and to the right. And Stochastics RSI is looking good. And balance of power shifted rapidly to green. PRGO, looking for that breakout over 78.50. If it does that, we're probably looking around 82. It is a round and bottom breakout. One negative I noticed on this one, and that's the balance of power is negative. That's, and the average volume, now that I mention it, is a little bit lower than average. So it's going up on lower than average volume. Oracle keeps bumping up about this $49 level. Looks like it's trying to back off a little bit here. The balance of power is getting weaker. But when it finally breaks over 49, 53's in the cards, maybe only 52. But I'll take either one. KAR, Auction Services, nice move up, pull back, gets back up over 59. First level of defense there is 60, and the next level is up around 61 and change. Depomed, it has been going sideways in this consolidation area for a while. It has a good balance of power. It did try to move on Wednesday and Thursday of last week, but the markets overwhelmed it. So, need to keep that in mind. It also reports in about 2 weeks' time. About 10 days, maybe. MDCO, again, also consolidation. So-so on the balance of power. Looking for a breakout to go higher. And the last one on my list is Valero. Valero reported on Thursday. It shot up nicely. We did a consolidation. Looking for basically a move over 117. And a 45-degree run towards the tops here around 125. All right. I'm going to open this up for, not for stocks, but for general questions. Either about charting, but just something in general about trading. We'll get to your individual stocks in a moment. Oh, thanks, Chris. That is, Richie, you said you see you have a 45-degree angle on, see, like Valero. Let me show you. Stocks that move up on earnings that have reasonably high short interest, 10% or more, and move against the grain from the prior trend, which in this case was down. They tend to do something like UAL did. Now it only did it for 3 days and then went sideways. The weaker markets have kind of held it, but it basically tried to get up towards this 82 and change level. It got pretty darn close. I made some decent money on that one. Fastenal. There's the 45-degree runner. And its target was up here about 58 and change, and it tagged it. So what I'm seeing is that this had about 10%, 11% short interest. I went long here. I sold out a bit early, but it went up to the ultimate target. So that's what I'm looking for it to do, Richie. That ones that report earnings and they are surprise earnings, like Fastenal did, boom. So we go back on to the earnings. Kimberly says she wants to test out Trading Version but can't seem to find a link. Ed, if you're still here, could you help Kimberly if there is such thing as a trial or anything like that? And Dan W., when you say buy, you're buying calls or spreads or puts or put spreads. Yes. A lot of it will depend potentially on on how good the options are and where I think the targets are going to be. A lot of them are just directional calls. So there's a little more risk involved in that. Oh, they're out for. I normally like to get them out a little bit further. Minimum of 30 days or a month, but I would normally like to get around 45 to 60 days. Now, if you want to be really aggressive, you can get shorter term options, but if it doesn't go right away, if it goes sideways, then you're going to get time decay. I think I did a session on the 45-degree angel once before. I'm not sure if we got a good recording. I know I got a recording of it, but I had trouble with the audio. I'll have to look it up, Kimberly. But we can definitely play that on an afternoon, and almost maybe we can find an afternoon that is a little slow, and we can go over that. Any other general questions? Is there any way to scan on for earnings reports, like when it is expected or when it happened in the past? Yeah, you can go ahead, Chris. It has next earnings here, and I have all stocks and ETFs. You can, in version 18. So I could sort on that. I'm not sure if I can do a scan on it, but let's see if next earnings is there. Next earnings. Now, Ed, this says it's between 0 and 100, huh? Who knows what that means? Yeah, that's about the only thing you can do. But I would have thought that there was a way to sort by dates, and I don't remember. There may be a tutorial on the Worden website. I usually don't sort them by earnings. What I do is I usually get my watch list out there and I check earnings afterwards to make sure they're okay. All right. Thanks, Bill. Okay. And after a couple of minutes, I just put up the crosses, put another set of crosses there so we are not here all night going over people's individual stocks. I want to have one and only one stock. Tell me if you're looking long, looking short. All right. Oh yeah, we can do that. We can have a notice sent out by Rick. Now remind us in the room. Okay. Can I go over my criteria for my watch list? I try to put on stocks that are going to go up. I'm being flippant. I like a J-hook, which is a stock that has a strong move up, a pullback, and a curl back up. And I like to try to get in near the bottom so I have a tight stop, and I use something like this here. And I have a scan here that I use that was developed. It was co-developed between myself and Rick Sadler, and we basically used the 8 exponentials over the 20 simple, the 8 exponentials over the 34 exponential, and that's over the 50. At least the last 2 days we've had lower highs, not lower lows, but lower highs. And then to make sure it's curling up today is true. Today is over both yesterday's open and close, so it really is going up. And I put a volume criteria, a price criteria, and an average true range in there. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot out there that's gone up and fit those criteria. Now, Hasbro is about to fit that criteria. You go, that doesn't look like a let's see, let me get the width here. All right, move up. Whoops, let's try that again. This right here was a move up. The gap is the move up, and it's coming back here, and it's potentially doing a J-hook, so over about 102.50 or so like that, and with a stop under 100 would be a potential for a 45-degree runner. All right, let's go back up here. Moto wants to look at Target. Target met the target that I had over there of 79.63. It looks like it's doing a breakout. I think it's probably coming back if the markets do. It reports on the 22nd. BOP is not anything to go right home about, and the stochastics RSI is near the top. So you didn't say whether you were long already or not. I'll assume. Well, with this market, I just put it on the watch list and wait for a pullback and wait for a bullish signal. And what I would look for, let's go to color. Come on. Green. Oops, no, let's do this. Okay, let's see that we get a couple of red candles doing the pullback. And then we get something like this. Move up. Then I might be interested. But you got to have a bullish signal. JP put down 2, so I'll go over FedEx. We may come back to you or not. FedEx, let's look at a 3-day chart. Let's look at a weekly chart. Let me mark this up for you. What I'm seeing is right here, the bear flag. And 617. Let's go back to daily. Yeah. You see, I'm not going to be interested in FedEx until it basically turns the corner. For me, it's below the 200, which doesn't really mean much of anything, but it's just kind of a gradual. But before I mark that up, let's go to the EMA only chart. It went way up fast, then it pulled back, it went up, and then it's rolled. So it's basically had a chance to do a cup and handle, but didn't. Now it's trying to go up. But I'd like to see some sort of good solid movement upwards. pullback and that. I mean, we've got that, and we did it here. Went up, went sideways. Some people would say, well, there's nothing between us and $265. There probably isn't. I'd like to see a good bullish day, though. It can't be a pinball if it's below the 34. That's usually the target. I'm not much of a fan of the pinballs, and I believe if you ask Rick, he may have kind of got off those. Now, rounded bottom breakouts are nice, but this doesn't fit that. It's really coming right up into the confluence of the 200 and the 50. If it gets over that and shows some strength, then I could see getting in that one. MICKEY, long. Mick, it was on my watch list back here. It reports on the 1st, which is, what, Wednesday? I wouldn't do anything until after it reports. And on that, if it does do it positive, it'll probably get in that gap. You have plenty of room up there to about 61.50 on that gap. Delta Airlines, long from JM. The target's around 55. It's done most of its move on earnings, pulled back. Nice, good, sharp move on Thursday, follow through on Friday. If you're already long, fantastic. Trade your plan. Be sure to take profits accordingly. Now, if you're not long, I wouldn't go long until you got a pullback again. Let's see. Warren wants Medtronic. All right, it's in the pullback mode. Needs to hold this 88 level. And if we get a bullish candle over here, I could see it, and may have to get at least piercing 89, maybe 89.50, and then see what happens at 90. Let's see what the area chart looks like. Yep, you're not at all-time highs. Those are up around 89. But that's kind of why we stopped here at 90, I bet. We tapped up to the all-time highs. I've traded in and out of Medtronic a couple of times. It's pretty good. 821 on the earnings. Bob S. wants to look at DK. Delek is up right at this $53 level, which is going to be some resistance here. It does look a lot like a continuation pattern, though. Wide range bar, consolidation sideways. If we move up here, I could see the long. You have to be careful about this 53.5 level, though. But the $60 is possibly in the cards for DK. Golfer Bill. Yeah, that would be harsh. Kimberly, I'll come back to it because I will post the entire. Well, let's see. Do I have it there already? It's for toss. Try that one. Thanks, Ed. Can you show one of the lower highs? Okay. There's one with lower highs. High there, equal, and lower high. That's not necessarily a great setup, you're not going to see. Let me look back. Oh, wait a minute. This one has the lower highs car. All right, ESV until a few days ago was doing a pullback. I don't like the overall pattern for it because this did too deep of retracement. But this is the kind of pattern we're looking for, is where you had a sharp move. Whoops. Doggone it, did it again. I clicked too fast. Want to move up here, want to pull back, kind of where the tops do this, and then you move up. But that did too much retracement. Okay. Golfer Bill wants to look at Fran. Buy above 8.5. Yeah, you'd have to be looking at a breakout. What I'm seeing down here at the bottom. Oh, that's not going to work. All right. Balance of power here was pretty good. Then it kept going sideways, and guess what's happened? People are losing their enthusiasm. So unless this puppy can get going above there, you'll probably get some renewed interest. Now let's look at a 3-day chart. On a 3-day chart, it's a rounded bottom breakout. And on the weekly, it is definitely a rounded bottom breakout. And it shows where the 8.5 is. So, but if you enter on a weekly, you need to trade on a weekly and stay there. Don't go change it. I'm waiting to go long on Target. General Mills. General Mills did a nice shoot up the last 3 days. 619. It's already retested that earnings high. But if it gets over, say, 45 and change, I could see how it might go higher. Not an exciting stock. Moves 75 cents a day. But it is showing some strength. The balance of power is just non-committal. And it was all negative all during here. And the average volume is going down. Just could be summer. This one just could be a defensive play. People jumping into it. And what has that got? 4.4% dividend. Could be the defensive part. Bob S. wants to look at Alaskan Air. Boy, that was some move on Thursday. $66 looks like it might be in play, as well as $69. Maybe you need this consolidation and then maybe a breakout here, but I'd want it to get over 66.25 basically. But this is a tough one. Let's look at a 3-day, weekly. Nah, that's a tough one. But you do have, if you hit a breakout here above 65.25, you only have about $2 stop, and you've got about $3.75 on the way up. So, yeah, it meets the criteria if you think it can get that high. The original Cisco. The stock that keeps on giving. Wait for a dip. Wait for a dip to the 17. Food distribution. Wow. Nice, 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 nice. There's the weekly. Let's go jump over to the area chart. All-time highs. It's had some weak spots and whatever, but nothing major. Long time. Not sexy. 80 cents a day. 1%. 2% dividend. Yeah. And RDS wants to look at Depot. Depot Med. Long $10 calls. 31 cents. $10? How far out of the money are you? There's a reason it's 31 cents, Art. I'm not going to slam you too much, but I've already done that. Sorry. I don't make a habit. I do not make a habit of buying way out of the money options. Now you're going to need for it to do something big on earnings, or being a drug manufacturer or not one that actually discovers. You're not going to probably get an FDA announcement, I don't think, because it only manufactures the stuff. And you've got this 875. It gets over there. Let's look at a area chart. Yeah. So you've got really get to 1031. You might be able to do it, but I don't know. Delta's in Atlanta. Yeah, we need to talk to you about buying the stuff. Buy with a Delta 0.70 or greater. Try that. You'll have a much better opportunity when you're buying calls. Yeah. Let's see. We'll move over here real quick. Let's look at Depot. Let's analyze September. And boy, the open interest is huge there. But you see how this is 0.22 now, and it's probably been 0.22 for a while. This only has a 15% chance of being in the money. And its current theoretical value, no, it's not 21. Go up here. Let me reset that. It's 19 cents. And you have a gigantic spread. 20-cent spread. See, that's good. What happens? Maybe something like $7 would have worked. You wouldn't have had to pay that much more, and you'd have had intrinsic, so in the money. For that would be 125. You have totally 100% extrinsic, which is out of the money. I'm not trying to harp on this too much. Well, that's also at the close of the day, so they didn't want anybody. They didn't want to fill one unless they got paid for it over the weekend. Why the spread? What? That's what the market makers do. Especially at the end of the day, most of these are going to get pretty wide. they'll probably get tighter during the day. Definitely near the close, that's for sure. Okay, let's see. All right, looks like we've got everybody's there. SEC fight. Thank you, Richie S. Appreciate it. Okay, let's go back to our chart. If you're not a member of Hit and Run Candlesticks or Right Way Options, there is a 30-day trial offer for $14. Can't beat it with a stick. The other thing is we're having an open house in our futures trading room now through the 31st of August, beginning at 9:15 right here in this room. No password required. And I don't think I've got my charts up, but I'm going to brag on myself for a change. All right. Back on the 1st of May. Started with an $8,000 account. Had a darn good month of May, and then volatility got to us, so we went from 2 contracts to 1. And 1/4 of the year, 13 weeks, we've now gone up $7,330, which equates to about 91%. So that's pretty decent. I was actually surprised that my best day of the week was Friday, because that's the one that I really despise. Maybe I'm doing a better job of managing it. I haven't had any big losers on a Friday. I want to point out also, I've had some pretty big losing days here, and I've even had a couple of losing weeks. If you run across anybody out there that says they get 90% winners or they don't have any losing days or weeks, grab your wallet and run the other way, folks. All right, consider giving us a try here in any of the 3 rooms. The one thing I can guarantee you is that you are going to have a good time with the folks. We're good. We're kind of like family. All right? Anyway, you guys take care. Have a great week. Be smart. Be safe. Aloha.